Alex wiped down the counter of his food cart for the third time that morning, a habit born from years of running the small mobile kitchen in the industrial district of New Terra Station. The chrome surface gleamed under the artificial lights, reflecting the endless stream of workers, traders, and travelers that passed through Sector 7B daily. His cart, affectionately named Alex's Corner, had become something of a landmark, a place where anyone could get a warm meal, no questions asked. The station hummed with its usual chaos, cargo haulers rumbling past, the chatter of a dozen alien species conducting business, and the occasional blare of an announcement in Standard Galactic. Alex had grown accustomed to it all. What he hadn't expected 3 months ago was the arrival of the children. They had appeared one morning like ghosts, 3 small figures wrapped in tattered thermal blankets, their skin a pale blue that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Their eyes, large and golden, had watched him with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. The eldest, a girl who looked no more than 10 in human years, had stepped forward. "Please," she had whispered in heavily accented Standard. "We are hungry." Alex had frozen, ladle in hand, staring at the trio. In all his years on the station, he'd seen plenty of desperate souls, but children? That was different. That was a line even the worst of the station's underbelly rarely crossed. "Come here," he'd said, his voice gentle. "Sit down. I'll get you something." That had been the beginning. Every day since, like clockwork, the 3 children appeared at his cart. The eldest introduced herself as Lyria, her younger brother as Kale, and the smallest, barely old enough to walk properly, as Mira. They never explained where they came from or why they were alone on a station known more for its black markets than its charity. Alex never pushed. He simply fed them. Ashley, his assistant and the only person he trusted on this rust bucket of a station, had warned him about getting involved. "You can't save everyone, Alex," she'd said one evening as they packed up the cart. Her dark eyes, always sharp and assessing, had softened with concern. "Especially not on New Terra. This place eats kindness for breakfast." "I'm not trying to save anyone," Alex had replied, though they both knew it was a lie. "I'm just making lunch." Ashley had sighed but said nothing more. She understood him better than most. They'd both ended up on New Terra, running from pasts they didn't discuss, finding purpose in the simple act of feeding the station's forgotten masses. As weeks turned into months, Alex noticed things about the children. They were polite to a fault, almost ceremonial in their gratitude. They never took more than what was offered, and they always waited until every other customer had been served before approaching. There was a dignity to them, a bearing that seemed at odds with their ragged appearance. Kale, the middle child, had a sharp mind. He'd watch Alex cook with intense focus, asking questions about Earth cuisine, about the spices Alex used, about why humans cooked food at all when nutrient paste was more efficient. Because food isn't just fuel, Alex had explained, stirring a pot of his grandmother's stew recipe. It's memory. It's comfort. It's love made tangible. Kale had considered this gravely, then nodded as if Alex had revealed some universal truth. Little Mira rarely spoke, but she'd begun drawing pictures on scraps of napkins Alex gave her, images of ships, stars, and what he assumed was their homeworld. The drawings were beautiful, intricate beyond what he'd expect from a child so young. Lyria remained the most reserved, but Alex caught her watching the crowd sometimes with an expression he couldn't quite place. It was almost regal, the way her golden eyes swept over the bustling masses, as if she were cataloging every face, every transaction, every injustice. Then came the day everything changed. Alex was in the middle of lunch rush, Ashley handling the register while he worked the grill, when the crowd suddenly parted. The chatter died. Even the station's ambient noise seemed to hush. A figure strode through the sector, flanked by an honor guard in armor that gleamed like captured starlight. She was tall, imposing, her skin the same pale blue as the children but marked with intricate patterns that seemed to move across her flesh like living tattoos. A crown of what appeared to be crystallized light floated above her head, the Empress of the Caltharian Empire. Ruler of 200 worlds, commander of fleets that could crack planets. Alex knew who she was, everyone in the galaxy knew who she was. What he didn't know was why she was walking directly toward his cart. The Empress stopped before him, her golden eyes, so familiar, so impossibly familiar, meeting his. Behind her, partially hidden by the guards, Alex spotted 3 small faces. Lyria, Kyle, Mira, you are Alex Harrison, the Empress said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Your Majesty, he managed, his mind reeling. My children tell me you have been providing them with sustenance. Her voice carried across the silent sector. Daily, for 3 months. Alex's mouth went dry. I didn't know they ran away, the Empress interrupted, and for the first time her imperial facade cracked. Pain flickered across her features. They ran away because they believed I no longer had time for them. That ruling an empire meant I had no time to be their mother. She stepped closer, and Alex saw tears gathering in those ancient, powerful eyes. They survived on the streets of this station for weeks before finding you. And you, a human with nothing who owes us nothing, you fed them, protected them, asked for nothing in return. Lyria broke free from the guards, running to Alex. She wrapped her arms around him. We wanted to stay, she whispered. With you and Ashley. You made us feel like we mattered as people, not as princesses. The Empress knelt, bringing herself to Alex's level, an act that sent ripples of shock through the growing crowd. An Empress did not kneel. How can I repay this debt? She asked. Alex looked at the children, at Ashley's stunned face, at the hundreds of hungry souls who passed his cart every day. Let me keep making lunch, he said simply, for everyone who needs it. That's all I've ever wanted to do. The Empress smiled, and it transformed her face. Then you shall have the resources of an empire behind you, and my children will visit you whenever they wish as themselves, not as royalty. As the Empress stood and her guards began to organize, Mira tugged on Alex's sleeve and pressed a drawing into his hand. It showed his cart surrounded by stars with 2 words carefully printed at the bottom. Our home. Alex looked at the 3 children, at the Empress who ruled the galaxy but couldn't heal her own family's wounds, and at Ashley, who was wiping away tears she'd never admit to crying. Sometimes, he realized, the most revolutionary act in the universe was simply seeing people, truly seeing them and offering them a warm meal.